So have you tried making some type of connection with your subject, a personal connection? Let's talk about the phenomenon of liking as an ethical influence tactic in tip number 54 of 101 tips for interviewers and interrogators. Hey, welcome back. Stan Walters with you again. Tip number 54, 101 tips for interviewing and interrogation. This time I'm going to talk about the influence tactic of liking, or to like, L-I-K-E. Again, let's give credit to where it belongs, to Dr. Robert Cialdini and to author Bob Berg. Talk about influence tactics and effective ways to lead people to decisions, to help them find those judgmental heuristics, those shortcuts that help them decide what's the best course of action. The principle I want to talk about is liking, or to like. People are more inclined to cooperate or to say yes to someone who they find some type of connection or similarity with. And so that's one of the tactics we need to think about. Now, this liking process, you don't have to have a wonderful relationship and have a primal scream together and have a warm fuzzy. That's not what I'm talking about. And remember these 6 principles we're talking about, this being the last one, you do not have to employ all of them or every one of them in every single interview. There's different opportunities that present themselves depending on the interview environment and the situation. So with the like process, you might have a wonderful, warm relationship and become best buds and send each other holiday cards when this is over. That's not exactly what we're looking for. As I mentioned, people are more likely to comply or to say yes to somebody they feel at least comfortable or safe with. Now, several factors come into play. One of them is they're more likely to respond to somebody who's physically attractive. Now, last week I was doing some work with the Rangers. We were working in some threat assessment and threat work, and we were working in a BARD district, teaching them behavior symptoms. And it was funny. There was a lot of folks, homeless folks, and there were a lot of drug addicts and so forth working in the area. As you can imagine, with some of the crack addicts, they were looking pretty rough, looking pretty bad. And they were coming around to the people and going to the different bars and entertainment venues, and they were asking for money, $1 here, $1 there. I had one guy that wanted to try to sell his crack pipe to buy crack. Okay, so how are you going to use without the pipe? Anyway, but you can imagine they weren't getting much luck. Why? Because their appearance was very off-putting in the first place. Now, some folks are compassionate or would give them a cigarette or something like that, and a couple of folks were giving dollars, to these people. But they were physically attractive, and so it was difficult for people to accept or to follow their guidelines or follow their requests or wishes. So I'm not saying we all look like crack addicts, but think a little bit about your appearance and your bearing when you go into the interview room. What does it look like? Would it be a threatening influence? Would you have a facial expression, a demeanor that's calm, that is relaxed, that's non-aggressive? That has a lot to do with making that like connection. It may not be a total like connection, but at least there is respect for the person. Okay? Now, next thing to look at, are we giving the person some compliments? Can you find something that's positive to say about them? In your conversation, appreciate how they work hard. Appreciate maybe that the mom works hard as a mother and is a single mom and has had lots of challenges, and that must be tough and for her, and she's worked very hard to take care of her kids, or you're a hardworking employee, or you've done well for yourself, etc. Something and it has to be genuine. You don't want it to be shallow, but some type of compliment. Okay? There's also, can you identify a similarity? Find something that you have in common. Now, this could be sports. It could be, stay away from politics and religion, very tough to work with. The old saying about politics and religion, right? But stay away from those things. To give an example, we were working in a level 3 and level 4 class. We were visiting prison. And some students were having difficulty with the subject who was a heroin dealer. Now, the guy was close to my age. And so I began talking to him about his background and what he was doing and why he was doing this. And he made a comment about having a granddaughter and grandbabies. Later, I mentioned about my granddaughter. And we talked about how we wanted the best for our granddaughters and how we wanted our granddaughters to succeed and to be successful and to have a good life and so forth. And how would he have felt if he were watching outside and his granddaughter walked up to a heroin house and was going to get heroin? And that connection was just ripping at him. And you could see that I'd made that connection, and he knew that feeling that we both had about our grandkids. So I had tagged on to, or tapped into, that similarity that we have between us and how we both had felt, and already using some of his language and comments about his granddaughter in that dialogue. Okay. The fourth piece that you can use a liking: do you have common goals? Do you have common ground? Are you looking for a common resolution? So go back and something you could combine with commitment. Look back at the one commitment as an ethical tool. And my goal, we're going to work this out together. I'll use this at the beginning of the interview. I know you want you to do the best for yourself, don't you? I understand it. You want to work your way through this problem, and your welfare is your number one concern. I will do my best to help you. I will be honest if you'll be honest. We'll work this out together, and I become a team player, an advocate. I'm not surrendering control. I'm not surrendering my case. But we know that people who find a connection, find a link to liking, whether it's even enough just similarities, even by chance if you have the first name, it's amazing what that happens. So think about how you would make those connections with the subject to at least till you create a mutual respect toward each other. Your physical appearance and your bearing, your demeanor. If there's something in commonality or similarities between you, building compliments, or if there's a common goal. And watch how that'll come into play with your interview. So if you jumped in here and haven't seen the other 5 ethical tools, extensive research, you need to look at those and think about how you can bring them to bear as effective influence tools, very ethical. Never ever lie. Remember that. It's always said in all of these. Never lie to the subject, never make up information. And you lie, you destroy that like connection because they've lost trust in you. And liking is creating trust and mutual respect. Be sure to take a look at our on-demand courses. Be sure to subscribe if this is your first connections you happen to pick up. Join them for the rest of the videos and add those to your interview process. Take a look at their pocket guide, take a look at textbooks, and be sure to go to my website, get your free ebook, and sign up for the Lie Guy list to find out about courses in your area. So come back, be safe in the meantime, and we'll see you back for tip number 55. This is Stan Walters. Be safe.